What's up, mamas? I'm Rebecca. You're watching the Reseller Mom Show. Thank you for joining me today for episode number 3 of Reseller Momversations. I'm so excited. This has been going really well, at least from my point of view. I've really enjoyed these talks. And today I'm super excited to welcome someone that I'm just learning to get to know, and I hope that you will get to know her with me. This is Kristy Erickson, and she is journey.to.jupiter on Instagram. And I'm just going to kick it off to her to let her introduce herself for a moment, and then we'll get to our Momversation.
Hi. Thank you for having me. I love that you're doing this.
Thank you.
It's fun. We see a lot of resellers, all different walks of life. So it's kind of nice to have the whole mom-specific reseller group to connect with. So I love that you're doing this. Thank you.
Thank you. It's been going well so far.
Yes, I'm a mom of two boys, ages 12 and 6. I've got a middle schooler and elementary school. So, you know, a lot, my head's going to flip. So that's me. I began reselling in 2016, and I brought a prop. This magazine right here is how I actually first learned about Poshmark.
Okay.
And I had just had a ton of clothes sitting around of my boys. They'd outgrown and didn't know what to do with them. And I kept telling myself, I gotta put them on eBay. I gotta put them on eBay. And this is about the same time I had become a divorced mom, a single.
Okay.
You know, it was just, what can I make a little extra money? And I've got these clothes sitting around. So what, you know, I kept saying, I'd put them on eBay, could have put them on eBay, you know. And they sat there and sat there and sat there. I procrastinated like we do sometimes. And I just happened to be flipping through that magazine and came across an article about stay-at-home moms who make extra money and different ways that they do that. And in that magazine, in that article, was a woman who had done basically the same, just grabbed things out of her closet and started selling. And I was introduced, I had never known Poshmark existed. So
that, you know, that reselling was even a thing, that people did that like for money?
I sold a couple things here and there on eBay, just my own, just a couple little knick-knack, whatever, nothings.
Right.
No, it could be a business.
Right.
Until I started doing that, getting rid of the kids things, and then started watching videos. I like to kind of know what I'm doing before I jump into something.
Absolutely.
Know the background. So I did research, and that's how I started figuring out that this is a thing.
It's a thing.
Really can make money.
I didn't either.
Yeah, so it was eye-opening, and then I started following, you know, the resellers on YouTube and Instagram, and that's how I really started, you know, learning, and it just went from there. And then it became a business for me, not just a hobby. I do have a career as well. So this is like my co-career, my co-job. Yeah, I feel like I do this full time. My other job is, you know, a few days a week, so I feel like I do both. I think are considered full time for me for the. So yeah, that's how I started.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I found out about it too, but I didn't start with Poshmark. I found out about it, I think, from like a parenting magazine for an app called Totspot, which Poshmark bought out. So Totspot is no longer around. And for those moms, you know, there was a Facebook community and a really good community of moms on Totspot. So shout out to the Totspot moms that might be watching, because that's really where I found out about all of this. And I did it because Gio was about 6 months old. And so I was starting to get those few things that he was starting to grow out of. And I started putting some of the things on there, and they were selling. And then, like, I don't know how I ever actually found out that people were going to Goodwill, buying kids' clothes to sell on Totspot, but somehow I did. And then I was like, oh my God, this is, yes, like, this is the best. So I would drag Gio, stick him in the little shopping cart. It would be snack time. And I'm like, let's go see what we can find. And then it just kind of snowballed from there. So I didn't actually get on Poshmark till a few months later. And that was my second thing. And then I started with eBay. And that was all in about 2016 also. But I'm really interested because I think the last few people that I've talked to the most, except for the Momversations that's going to go up before yours, everyone has toddlers. Like I feel like there's a lot of toddler moms or baby moms that are just finding out about reselling. And so we're all in a different boat than when you have school age kids. Now I'm starting to see the light because Gio is in preschool part-time, 3 days a week for 4 hours. And so I maximize that time as much as I can. But I'm really curious to get your perspective on like what it's like to resell with older kids. What are the challenges? Because I'm sure there's different kinds of challenges, and what are the things that maybe you can give us all, us toddler moms, like give us some hope that it's going to get a little easier maybe. I would love to pick your brain about that.
Yeah, when I started, the youngest was still a toddler. He's 6 now, so years ago, so he was still a toddler.
Okay.
And the whole timing of everything was just, it was a lot, you know, I'd been divorced and the whole, you know, so he was a toddler, but then he started going to school, and that was, you know, it really was life-changing. It really was, you know, business changing, I guess you would say, and life-changing. So that really did make it easier to kind of have a chunk of time to devote to, you know, the actual things that you can get done without the constant, you know, needing to, you know, I need a snack, I need a this.
Right.
Not that that we're moms, that's why we're moms, because we're here to take care of our kids first.
Right. But when you're in business mode, it's nice to try to be in business mode. It's hard to switch hats constantly throughout the day. Yeah.
Correct. So there is the benefit is they go to school.
Yeah.
And there comes a point where they have to go to school. So that's time that you're going to be able to utilize. You're going to be able to utilize that time to really have a focused time.
Right.
And I'm not going to lie, it was summer, and summer is always what summer is for a mom.
Yeah.
With kids who are not in school, it's a free for all. Chaos. It is. I just plan on getting things done. I travel a lot for my other job, so that's when I get the most of my work. I try to get my work done so I can do the work, my reselling work on the road is kind of how I do it.
Interesting. Okay.
So I kind of feel like I have to get a certain amount of things done, but in the summer it is definitely a challenge. Yeah. So not going to lie, I was looking for this controversial, I don't know. I could not wait for school to start again.
Yeah. I mean, I think, you know, I'm sure there are the judgy moms out there, but I think in general, so far from what I get from the people that have commented on the videos or that I hear from Instagram, I feel like we're all pretty understanding. At least that's the community I'd like to have. So if you're a judgy mom, don't talk. Yeah. But, you know, like, I think we all have ambitions for our business, and we have ambitions for being moms. And it's just, and that's why I wanted to start this channel to begin with, and why I wanted this specific series. It took me a little while to get to it, is to really have those conversations and to just be in those feelings a little bit, because reselling is lonesome, fine. But when you're a reselling mom and you're seeing so much content that you're looking towards in an aspirational way, and none of them look like the scenario in which you find yourself as a mom, whatever the nuances, divorced mom, full-time worker mom, plus reselling mom, plus whatever, older kids mom, younger kid, like we all have different nuances, but at the end of the day, we're all going to still struggle with the same thing. How do you resell stuff online and raise these kids? Like, yes, that's what it is. So that's why I think this series is so cool, because I can pick everybody's brain and highlight all of those things that you figured out that work for you that could help someone else that's in the same boat.
I feel like my biggest challenge, no matter what the age of the kids, the biggest challenge I think for a mom who resells or a mom who does any business at home really is how to balance and not feel guilty that you're putting your kids off because they're playing. I am fortunate in that my kids are almost 6 years apart. My oldest is a very good big brother, and he loves to play with his little brother. He has times where he wants his own space, but he will do that. He will be playing with him. And it's not me saying, go play with your brother. It's he just does it. So I take those opportunities to go ahead and, oh, okay, well, they're having a good old time. It was organic. They did it on their own. I'm gonna go take some pictures. So it is beneficial that way, in that, you know, I do have that luxury of him occupying him
Right,
sometimes.
right,
And
right.
there, where my little one wants mommy. And I feel like, oh, I'm in the middle of doing this, but he wants mommy. I don't want to put him off. So it's kind of this push and pull of he needs me and it's my priority. But oh my gosh, if I don't get that, it's a real, it's the balance. That's number one, finding balance.
It's interesting because then, it seems like that doesn't ever go away, because kind of in my head at the point where Maggio is almost going to be 4 in December, I wonder, like, is that neediness? And I think the neediness will just change, right? Probably. I mean, he talks a lot. So most of the time it's just he wants to talk and show me things. It's not always that he needs me to do something for him. We're kind of getting in the clear of that. But he wants to talk, and I'm not giving him a little brother or a little sister. My business is it. That's that. Or, more dogs or something. But the baby stuff is over. I'm not doing that. So, this is it. So if I'm choosing not to give him that sibling, then I need to be that play buddy. And so I take that very seriously. But at the same time, on the point of like making them a priority and that they need you, I've been really trying lately to teach him patience and to teach him that sometimes you need to finish the task that you're doing before you can move on to something else. And that helps me because it lets me kind of finish my thought or whatever I'm doing. But I saw him say it the other day back to me, because I'm like, listen, we need to go. You need to do pee-pee. It's time to do nap. And he's like, Mom, I'm finishing my task. Give me a minute. Like, you know what? Touche, fine. Like, okay. Because then that meant that the lesson that I was teaching him, he got it, heard it, internalized it, and is now using it back at me. But that's okay, because that's what I wanted him to know. You need to finish what you're doing. And not everything is immediate, because otherwise I think that's, and I don't know, and this is not a judgy mom thing, but does that lead to temper tantrums because they didn't get what they wanted at that moment? I don't know. Like, I've been pretty lucky Gio doesn't do a lot of that. He still does some things, but not a lot of it. And, maybe it's because I've done that. I don't know. But
probably. I
think it is a struggle, but I feel like, or maybe that's how I rationalize it, right? Like, I'm teaching them to listen.
You're doing it right, and they're just like, Mom's doing this. They are not thinking of it like we do. That's what we do.
Yeah. But that's good. I mean, it's good that, you do have the other older child to be able to kind of help take a little bit of the initial pressure off when you are trying to get something done. And that switches things up for the little one, because he can talk to you, talk to the big brother or whatever. So that's good. I'm curious when you said about like doing your reselling work when you're traveling for your job. Tell me about that, because that actually sounds really interesting.
Okay, so I'm a flight attendant.
Oh, okay. I remember you saying that.
Yeah. I've been doing that for, come December, it'll be 15 years.
Oh, wow.
So I was a flight attendant before. I had kids. So my life is interesting in that, as far as time management, it's real tight, because when I'm gone to my other job, I'm not just gone for the day and I come back in the evening.
Right, you're gone, yeah.
I'm gone. So in my home, there's nothing getting done for 3 days.
3 days. Right.
On what. So I really have to, I live and thrive on organization.
Yeah.
I have to be organized. I have to have my ducks in a row, or my life's not going to survive, because I'm essentially fitting a week's worth of life into 3 days.
Right.
So what I try to do for my reselling business is to do the dirty work, so to speak. Okay. Do the picture, do the measurements, get all of the information that I need, the pictures taken, the information written down, pack that up
when you're home
with me. Yeah. And if I've got to get a big chunk of that done. So that goes with, and then when I'm on the road,
then you list
the listing. Yes. And I've got what I need all right there. And then I'm able to do that. So I'm able to continue to do my business on the road. And there's no like stopping this and then I got to go. And then this is getting done. I kind of mesh the two. And, I've got the time. I'm in my hotel room. I've chunks of time on my layovers. I do those things. And sometimes the layovers are short and I don't get to do anything. But, it's like sharing. I mean, there's ways to do it. But I do have to, before I leave town, on those 3 days that I'm off, or 4 days, whatever the case may be, I have to have it done. And at the same time, I have to do the laundry and the grocery shopping.
Right, get them all squared away and all of that. Yeah.
Everything else. So my time is really, really, really tight. And I think I probably put more pressure on myself about that. Again, the balance, just trying to figure out, can I do this? Can I do that? My kids are in soccer 5 days a week. So so essentially 2 nights when I'm in town, at least, or 2 to 3, days if it's a game day. That's more chunks of time I don't have to devote to anything in my home selling. Now, don't get me wrong, I love it. I love watching my boys play soccer. They love playing soccer. I am soccer mom.
Do you do anything on your phone for your business while you're at like the soccer practice or the soccer game?
Well,
or are you like so enthralled and like, go, get up, like, are you the yelling?
If it's my youngest and his soccer practices, if it's a game, no matter what, my phone is away. I'm not doing anything. I'm watching.
It's go time.
Right. Practices, when it's my oldest having practice, I have my youngest there. So it's not like I can just go away, I'm doing this.
Right.
But there are times I pull it out and share a little here and there if I can. But sometimes I'm talking to other moms and dads and just, socializing or whatever, because I need to have that time also, or I'll go crazy.
Yeah.
When it's my oldest soccer, I do have him. When it's my youngest soccer, he's practicing. It's a little easier. My oldest is off playing with other older siblings.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's a little easier. So I try to throw in a little. I find it is a little harder there, though.
I ask only because Gio was in football last fall. So this is 3 to 5-year-olds playing flag football. And I had no idea what to expect. Now, he had 2 like 5-year-olds on the team, and then the other ones were all 3. Gio was the guy going this way when everybody else was going this way. Or he's sitting on the floor with the other guy, or they're looking for butt. Like he was like total.
Normal, by the way. Normal.
Say it again. It's normal. Okay. So, but in comparison to the 5-year-olds that got the concept of a team, that got the concept of following the coach and whatever, Gio was good at listening to the coach, but when the coach wasn't giving him a specific direction, he was often like la la land. I'm trying to prepare my husband to like, this may not be his calling. We may not have an athletic kid. We may have a musical kid, or we may have like debate club kid. I don't know, but well, I mean, it's too early to tell. But anyway, so I just felt like it was total torture watching these practice. Like, this is a total mom confession right now. I'm like, it was cute for the first 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
And for weeks and weeks on end, I was like pulling out my phone and I was trying to look like, oh, maybe I'm taking a picture, like make it look like I wasn't doing business stuff on my phone. Like I was taking pictures or posting something on Facebook so people weren't judging me. My mom was there because she was snowbirding from New Jersey. So she's like totally judging me. Like, why are you not watching him? Stop being on your phone. I'm going to take that phone away. Like, Mom, like, I don't want to watch this. This
I can't.
terrible. I feel so bad. Someday he's going to watch this maybe and be like, Mom, what the heck? But God, it's total torture watching these little.
It is. I can relate.
Older and it's cooler. Like, then I guess I'll be more into it. But at this age, it was awful.
No. And I can totally relate to that. My oldest, he's been playing for 9 years now. He's 12. He's been playing since he was 3.
So that's their thing. So soccer's their thing.
They are, yes, they are like, I mean, just scattered. It's a mess. It is. It is. And then, like you said, it's cute. And then you're going, so come my second one, I already knew to expect that.
Yeah. So that's good.
Or tears. I mean, my oldest cried for the first, I don't know how long. I mean, cried. His dad helped coach, and his dad was literally holding him on the field, crying.
Yeah.
It's a mess in the beginning. It does get better. And then my youngest watching my oldest, now he's super competitive to a fault. Oh, but he's very talented, very good, because he's been watching since, the second he was born.
Yeah.
He's been watching this. So it does, they're very different. When they started out, they had very different experiences, but yes, I can totally relate to that. And there are times it's like, I've seen this, even with my oldest, I saw him do it. So now my youngest, I'm like, yeah, seen this. So I get it. It's okay to feel like that. And it's okay because they do outgrow that.
Yeah. Well, and I think at some point, and I don't know, because I'm not in the headspace where I can really see what our life will be like, where I'm dropping him off at more places. Like I remember in high school having cheerleading practice or like dance, you know, even younger than high school. Like my mom sometimes sat, or maybe she dropped me and then she went and did things. In this day and age, I kind of really have a hard time wrapping my brain around dropping Gio off anywhere except for school. And sometimes that's hard enough. Because of just everything that can possibly go on in this world.
I honestly just started with my oldest.
Yeah.
I don't really have a reason to, well, where he normally has his soccer practice, there's nothing for me to do. There's nothing there. We're in the middle of nowhere.
Right. Can't go source. Yeah. You may not be able to go source, but you could maybe just have like focused, non-judgmental time, even if you sat in the car.
Yes, and some of our parents do.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I have a couple where, you know, I have one friend, I'm like, get out of your car and come talk to me. You know, so we'll socialize, whatever. So, I mean, yes, there are those times, but they do have practices at another field on occasion. And there are things to go. I brought my little one and we've gone to Goodwill. So, I mean, that's a better, but we don't. But yeah, so, but I just started not long ago, just, you know, dropping him off. Or sometimes they'll go with friends or we'll take each other. But he's 12. So it's a little bit different. And it took just until this time, you know, now. So it's a while. It'll be a while.
We tried after, like once it was beginning summer, so earlier this year, you know, starting to get hot. Because you're in Florida. Oh, we didn't even talk about that. You're in Florida too.
I'm just north of you. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you go, do you go out of Orlando or? You do? Oh, okay. Oh, cool. Well, I'm right by the
Yes, my airline only goes out of Orlando.
So, okay. So then, yeah, we'll try to connect in person then, because I'm just by the airport. I forgot about that. But so I said, we should do an indoor activity for the summer, because I don't want to sign up for something where I'm sitting just sweating and dripping while you're running around, definitely getting sweaty. So I'm like, let's try karate. And then I figured, okay, I could be sitting in the air conditioning. I could be doing stuff on my phone while they're over there, you know, karate chopping wood. He didn't want to deal with it at all. So that went out the window real quick. But I'm just trying to think of like a couple like takeaways for reselling moms that are either, you know, with the younger kids or with the older kids just getting started. Like, you know, you can utilize, if you strategically choose your activity, you can utilize that time even a little bit, like we're saying, sneaky listing or sneaky sharing while they're off and you're kind of being incognito on your phone while they're doing stuff, but you're there, or a drop-off situation where you're dropping them at practice and then you can go and do something. I remember when I used to take Gio to my gym, which was just like a gymboree little thing. We did that from like 1-year-old to 2-year-old time frame. And there was a Goodwill right next door. So I would plan the classes that I would take him to around when the Goodwill opened and that kind of thing. And, you know, again, they're little at this time. And that's what I keep saying. Like, that's my grace at this point, is like, I'm still in the zone of like, he's never going to remember this stuff. Like, he's not going to know that mom dragged him here, there, and everywhere when he was 1.5 years old and had the majority of snack time in Goodwill. Like, he's not going to remember that. I'll tell him just so he knows, but like, you know, he's not going to remember.
I would say, you know, don't knock that though, because even like my oldest, and in my youngest too, I actually involve them in what I'm doing. And my oldest especially is very impressed, you know, like I'll give you an example. You know, I found these lotions. Look at these lotions I found. I paid this much for them. I just sold them for $94 for 6. You know,
Wow.
The Johnson Cocoa and Shea Butter lotion.
Okay.
But if you find those, I'll have to send you a picture. But
okay.
Yeah. So, you know, he gets very, very interested in that. And my little one, and then I explained to them, I'm a single mom. I don't have a second income in my home. If I don't make money, we don't eat.
Right.
It's not like I fall back on. So, you know, I think for them, it's good for them to see us working hard.
Absolutely.
And taking work. So don't feel like you're dragging him, you know, and we do that to ourselves.
Right.
Don't feel like you're dragging them, you know, when he's old enough to understand the monetary part of it.
Right.
You know, they will really appreciate. And I want my kids to grow up to, you know, think of me as somebody who worked hard to give them things and experiences and necessities. And I did that, you know, working hard on my own.
Yeah.
So don't think of it that way. As much as we do,
you know, and it's funny because now that you're saying it, like, I guess I really don't feel that way. I guess I just said it that way just now, like I said, like dragging them all over. But honestly, I mean, I get my work ethic from my mom. She was a teacher. She still's around, but she was a teacher. She's retired now. But my father passed away when I was very young. And so she was a single mom. And so it was very much like, you know, she worked extra jobs because she didn't have a second person bringing in any income or what have you. So she was a teacher, and then she did kind of like a Tupperware or those type of home party things, but it wasn't. It was called House of Lloyd, which it's no longer around.
I know what that is.
It was a great company. And like, I used to help her, and she would have me fill out the order forms, like with her, you know, number. I used to stamp the catalogs with her like information. There was so many things that she put me to work for, and I loved doing it. I loved grading her papers. And so sometimes, yes, especially as you get older, as a kid of a mom that is making them go into the family business or whatever, like, you know, you resent it a little bit. But later you kind of realize all the skills that you learned, all of the things that you witnessed her doing, you know, so many life lessons that I learned from her about being a strong woman, like working really hard, multitasking, communicating and being personable with other people, because now you have customers and clients that you have to deal with or whatever. I mean, so many things. And that's why I do love that for Gio. And I see some stuff that he picks up, you know, just in how I talk about things. And what's really so hard is that there's a lot that I've done with him up until this point that I kind of have to go back through my pictures. And then I want to show it on the channel of like, when he was 1, this is how I got him involved. When he was 2, this is the kinds of things but I haven't been able to do it because it was just our personal photos. I wasn't thinking of like, let me show other moms this stuff. I mean, I have video of him. I did put that on Instagram a while ago, I think, where like I would take all the boxes, like the shoe boxes and whatever that I would get from USPS, and I'd put them together and let him stack them up and knock them down and make mazes with them. And then when I needed to sell shoes, then I just grabbed one of his stash and shipped the shoes out. So it wasn't like I was wasting, you know, the supplies, because that's a federal offense. I'm not going to jail over that. So, you know, like, don't know anybody send me to anybody. But, like, but, you know, he had a great time playing with those boxes, and that kept him busy for a while I could get photos done. And I think it would be really cool to share that with moms. Like, what are the things that you're teaching them, you know? And I'm sure there's even moms that are reselling that homeschool, which God bless those people, because that's not something I could ever do. But
it's not me. No.
You could use so many things from I'm just looking around, like from colors to communications to money and numbers and currency. Like, there's so many things that you could teach a kid by reselling that I see a lot of women, like, especially in the Facebook groups, they're like, what should I do? My kid's getting into everything. I can't get anything done. And I get that feeling and frustration, but I think that they're coming at it from frustration and not from, how can we do this together? How can I bring them into my business? How can I make this a fun activity and not something that just has to get done? And if you can go past the frustration a little bit and make it into something cool, I think you would get a lot more out of it, and so would your child. So I don't know, because again, you have the older kids. Like, if there are other things, like, what are do you actually have them help with anything, or you just talk about it with them?
I don't have them really help with anything.
Okay.
If any, you know, I'm looking through sizes of the pilot. Can you put this back in this bin? Like, nothing really.
Okay.
It's more talking to them about it. I want them to understand. And it helps me too, because I do feel the guilt sometimes, like, oh, I want to get this many pictures taken before I go, you know, on a trip. So I really want to get done, a little bit of guilt. But so then I explain to them, you know, what I do, I want them to have an understanding that I'm not just over there, watching
choosing something else over
this, or just having it, doing whatever I want in the corner.
right.
I'm actually working, and I try to explain to them too. There are a lot of their friends' parents, or other friends of mine that work Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. And so I try to explain to them, this is kind of like a working day for mommy.
Right.
It's, yes, I'm home and it's a day I'm not at my other job, but this is a working day. So I do have to put a certain amount of time into the work.
Yeah.
On this day, because it's a working day and I try to, such and such as mom, she works, 5 days a week. I work out of town 3 days a week. So a day or two, I really do have to put a chunk of time into it. And I do get
that's amazing.
Yeah. So during school, I do get some of that time now, but in the summer, they did have to understand that, hey, this is what it is. If you want to be able to go do this, then mommy has to do this. This is my, just as much as my other job is.
Yeah.
And this is why you have new cleats. This is why this is why we can go to this park. This is why we can do these things, because I'm working. And because of this reselling business, I actually don't have to leave town as much as I used to.
That's good. Because you get to sign up, and based on your seniority, you can choose what flights you do or whatever, right? So
we bid on our schedule, but then we can give away. People can pick up our things if we want to give it away. We can trade with people. So, I had, for the past few months, I really haven't worked much at all. I had some medical issues. I had surgery in July. So I had other things. I didn't work a ton because of those things. This month, though, granted, I've been sick on and off for a few weeks. I haven't worked a single trip this month.
Oh, wow.
I've never left town this month because I make enough money reselling to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And then I've got a couple trips lined up the rest of the month, so I'll do that. So I'm able to do that. That's not typically what I would normally do. If I hadn't been sick, surgery and all these things, I would normally have done that. But I had the ability. Both of my jobs allow me the flexibility to be able to have the time off to do that.
It's an interesting thing, because as you're saying it, and there's a couple other people that I've talked to, and I feel like reselling is a great, if you can make it your full-time everything, and it could totally support you and get all of your financial goals taken care of, then that's great. For me, thank God my husband makes what he makes. And so, I'm not relying on my thing. It's just for extras or whatever. And obviously I'd like for it to make more so that we have more extra or whatever, but savings, what have you. But that's neither here nor there. But if you have a job that is flexible already, and then you add in reselling to it, and both are flexible, that's got to be the holy grail right there, because you can choose, after 30 minutes, you can choose everything about it. For my old job, there was less choice because I worked in hospitality sales. So you had the 9 to 5, but then you also had the client meetings, site visits, all of these things, fam tours, where you're working on the weekend. Sometimes you're working for a dinner meeting. There's evening activities. You're going in early because you're going to be out of the office all day. So you have to get in at 7 to get everything done. And so it was a 40-hour plus job. And I could not see that plus this.
Oh, no.
Plus kids, or even that plus kids. Honestly, I can't even wrap my mind around how our family would operate if I wasn't a stay-at-home mom. But it's very interesting for people that, struggle with the fact that they do have a part-time job or a full-time job in addition to reselling. And it's if you could just kind of frame it up to where looking for the fact that it's a flexible, and that you can choose, you have some more choice in your schedule to mold your life how you want it and design it how you want it. I think that's the golden ticket right there. And
it's amazing.
When Gio's in school more, obviously I fantasize about, God, I could go to the bins, come home, eat a healthy lunch instead of getting something on the road, take all my pictures, get it all listed, drop it off at the storage unit, and call it a day all by myself without helpers, without having to give away part of my profits to have somebody else help me with the work. All in the fact that he's just going to school, which he has to do anyway. It's not like it's a bonus. I'm putting him in extra. He doesn't have to be there. But I'm doing it so I can get the business going so he can meet other kids. But then he has to be in school. So the idea that, if I use that time to also possibly have this, but maybe another flexible job, then you're really talking.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I feel like.
When like I said, I had kids before I started flying.
Right.
After I had kids, oh my goodness, I couldn't believe the judgy moms. I had moms just say to my face, I cannot believe that you leave your children.
Yeah.
I can't
Oh yeah.
your children.
Yeah.
And well, I make X amount of dollars working 3 days a week, which is more than you make working 5 days a week, plus what your husband makes. And I'm not trying to like everybody do your own thing.
It's all choice.
Don't come at me. Don't come at me. But and I spend more time with my children working 3 days away or 2 days, whatever the case may be. I spend more time with my children working those amount of days, making a full-time income at one job.
Yeah.
Than people who work Monday through Friday, those 9 to 5 jobs. And some people have to work those 9 to 5 jobs. And, and sometimes people, and then there are people that just with a passion, I love with a passion what I do. And there are people that love with a passion what they do Monday through Friday. Nothing wrong with that. For me, I love it because I've never missed anything. I've never missed activity. I'm the one taking pictures for my friends who can't be there because they want to be, but they can't. Well, I'm going to give you as best as I can your experience as if you were here and take pictures of your kids.
And that's how I feel with reselling. Yeah.
Yes. And in addition to that, I get to do, I don't even have to be away as much as I used to be.
Right.
From that job. And I get to do even, make more money. And I'm divorced now. So honestly, at this point, we switch every 3 days, which is an unconventional situation.
Right. But because if you're, I was going to ask, but I didn't want to pry. But yeah.
Pry away. It's unconventional. We switch every 3 days. And the mentality behind that is, and people go, yeah, switch so often. My kids don't want to be away from either of their parents. Just because their parents divorced doesn't mean their kids divorce their parents.
Right.
They both equally, they want to be with us every single day, both of us.
Yeah.
So let's have them be away the least amount of time. They don't want to be away from us. So 3 days, they're already accustomed to me being gone 3 days.
Right.
So it just made sense. I'm working my 3 days and then I have the kids my 3 days. That's what they were accustomed to anyway. Not seeing daddy was a little different, but they've adjusted.
Right.
And for us, it is the perfect way to, for our family.
Make the best of the situation that it is what it is. And you get, that quality time because now you have that other time away and your husband, has his time to do his things. And then when he's with them, hopefully it's good quality time. And I think that's fantastic. And that's why it's, there's a lot of people that talk about like, flexible jobs or, doing something on the internet that's like not a conventional job at all. It's that aside from the choice of it, it's that the time that you do spend, perhaps if you choose to make it that way, can be more quality time, more meaningful time, because there's a lot of other things that fall away when that, like when I get up at 4, and lately it's been 5, but I think I need to get back to 4 because I'm kind of not getting everything done. But like when I get up at 4 and I get 4 to 7 of all my internet working, whatever I've got to do done, I feel so much better for the rest of the day and know that if it completely goes off the rail and Gio and I are, just needing to do so much and I get nothing else done, we have quality time for the rest of the day because I'm not stressing out about the stuff I didn't do. And so whether you're doing it on 3 days on or 3 days off or 4 in the morning to 7 a.m. and then nothing the rest of whatever it is over nap time, whatever, like you can feel so much better about the time you do have with them because it's more focused and less distracted. There was something else that you said that I was going to ask about. And I was going to kind of like let that be sort of our final point because I do want to try to keep it to as 30 minutes as possible because I want to be mindful of the moms that are watching and may not have more than 30
They don't have time
with us while we're just here chit-chatting. But this has been fantastic. I don't remember what the other thing was, so we'll have to leave it for another time because I do feel like 30 minutes for each of the conversations that I've had was like too short. But I'm scared to make it an hour because, again, I want to be mindful of people's time. So it just means I'll have to have you back again. And I want you to just let people know, you say it again where they can find you because you're on Instagram. So give them your handle for that. I will link it in the comments below, and then we'll, sign off.
Okay.
I lost it. Got it.
My Instagram is journey.to .jupiter_. And then my Poshmark closet is Archer1210, if anybody would like to visit that.
Awesome. Yeah, so I will link that on the description below. And I'm sorry, I did leave off the underscore before. I don't even think I really even saw that. But thank you so much for joining me today. I definitely will reach out to you at a separate time so that way we can actually get together since we're not too far away. And if you're coming in and out of, you know, the Orlando airport, I'm nearby. So that would be cool. And I encourage, you know, the moms out there, it is hard sometimes, but when you do put yourself out there, and obviously I'm doing it through YouTube and Instagram, but perhaps you can do it as you see other people in the thrift store. Like, it's good to find a handful of local people that are doing what you're doing. Yeah, and don't see them as competition. I mean, sometimes, yes, but don't see them as competition because we're all looking for different things. And, you know, honestly, like when you go to the bins or when you go to Goodwill, like it's luck. Half the time it's luck. Like it's knowing what to look for, and that's good. And you could totally pass up a good brand if you don't know your stuff. But me finding it is completely luck versus her finding it if we went to the same store at 2 different times in the day. So don't be competitive, you know, be nice with each other and try to find a local reseller friend if you can, because it just makes it all the more rich of an experience, I guess you can say, because it's not just you doing it, it's you sharing experiences with someone else. So I definitely will be doing that, Kristy.
Yeah, we need a central Florida here.
Yeah. So, but follow Kristy on Instagram. Thank you again. I'm going to sign it off here. But everyone have a wonderful day, and we'll see you for the next Momversations. Take care.